Hello, so how are you? It's been a while since I've been doing some live. I've been very busy doing lots of wonderful speaking events, conferences, and it's been really fantastic. So, lots of insights I want to share with you today. And a lot of this is based on the courage to be you. Now, it's been really interesting. I work with lots of financial directors and directors in big corporates, and what they often come to me is because they want to feel more resilient and confident. Now, yes, that's great. However, when we dig a bit deeper, I know when they come to me, they have all the resilience and the confidence with them already. It's just the stories that they're telling themselves that they don't feel they have. When we go a bit deeper, a lot of the time, of course, want to progress in their career, want to get promoted, want to be in C-suite, whatever they want to do, but they haven't dared often say that. They have this hidden wish to be promoted, but they feel, will this ever happen to me? Because they see often those leaders in the top positions in where they want to be is a very different leadership style to their own. And so what happens is we see those people that are those leaders in the positions that we want to be, but because of their different leadership style, we think, I don't want to be like that because I'm all about integrity. And I'm not saying that they're not about integrity, but often their key value is respect. And there's a bit of a battle with the values going on. So, what is so amazing is that I know we all have all the confidence and the resilience and the courage we need inside us already. And so, what I find also when I talk to such amazing, inspiring leaders that I work with, they think they haven't got courage, yet they have the most courage that you could ever imagine. So when we feel we haven't got courage, when we feel we haven't got resilience, when we feel we haven't got confidence, it's when we actually have it the most because we're driving through no matter what. We're in this Bay of Biscay, the boat's kind of being shot at. We don't know if we're ever going to drown. All this stuff is going on, but we keep going no matter what. And that is when we realize that actually, if we're honest with ourselves, we have way more courage than we could ever imagine. And so this is something to really remember. I think we think we have to have resilience and confidence to have the courage, but actually it's the opposite because we have the courage within us that enables us to have the confidence and the resilience to show up as ourselves. Which brings me on to something else is so often I notice the need to fit in. Now, we all are part of a tribe, of whatever tribe we're in, whether it's an organization, whether it's our family, whether it's friends, whatever. We all have those tribes around us where we feel we can be ourselves. So I'd love you to ask yourself, are you different when you're in, say, the boardroom than you are when you're with your family and friends? Now, there's a difference in how we show up in the fact that we might show a different part of our personality with different parts of our life, but the same person wherever we show up. And the irony of all is we want to fit in order to feel we belong. But actually, belonging is the opposite of fitting in. So, what do I mean by that? When we want to fit in, we become like a chameleon. It's like a chameleon changes color depending on the environment that the chameleon is in order to merge with the background for its own safety. And how often do we do the same thing? We think we need to be like that person, so we become that person, but it actually betrays the values of who we are. We can only belong to who we are. Now, what does that mean? It means that we ditch the body armor of the people pleaser, the perfectionism, the wanting to show up as other people want us to show up as, because we feel that that is the only way we're going to succeed in our career. Absolutely the opposite. When we ditch all that body armor of perfectionism, people pleaser, wanting to fit in, and we become aligned with who we truly are, and unpick those stories from childhood that tell us, don't be too big for your boots, don't be arrogant, don't be, don't speak up, stay small, all that stuff that is in our subconscious from childhood. It's those stories that can make the massive difference by unpicking them. And I've had conversations with clients literally in the first session in 10 minutes. We've unpicked a story and whoa, I'd never realized why that was. The reason I was so scared of speaking up in the boardroom is because my teacher told me in a maths class, don't be too big for your boots. Or, just give somebody else a chance, whatever story you've been told. And then once we unpick those stories, it is absolutely magic. So today, I just want you to have a think about, where are you showing up differently that you would be showing up at home? Now, sometimes that's because we don't feel safe. We feel very relaxed. And hopefully at home, you feel relaxed. You don't feel accepted. You've got unconditional love. All those great things I hope you've got when you're at home, which we don't always have when we're at work. So it's the power of noticing what's going on that you're feeling differently when you're in a certain situation. And is it the person, the circumstance, or the situation that makes you feel you need to be different? And then once we unpick a bit of that, you realize, actually, that's about them. I'm me, I accept me. And the other tip I will tell you is that when we feel more confident, it gives so much reassurance to those around us. And there's always a fear with a lot of my clients that if I become really confident, I will become arrogant. As soon as you have an awareness of arrogance, you will never be arrogant, because you have that emotional intelligence to know what arrogance is. So if you're on a plane, for example, and I'm sure a lot of you might be going on holiday, or you've been on holiday and you might have been on a plane, if there's turbulence and the pilot comes over and says, just need to put your seatbelts on, there's a bit of turbulence, don't worry, it's very common in this area, we'll be through it in 5 to 10 minutes and all be good. You think, oh, great, I feel safe. You don't think he's a bit arrogant to say he's done it so many times before. You feel confident because you can feel his confidence, and you trust that pilot to get you down safely. It's exactly the same thing in day-to-day in leadership. If your team need you to give them the guidance, you need, when you show up in the boardroom, that assertiveness, that showing up with impact and influence, that's what gets you to the next level of your life and your career. So if you want to have a conversation, I'm very happy to have a conversation. So many tools and tips, which obviously you can see the title of my book, The Courage to Be You, all about the courage to be you. But I think it's really interesting, the massive shift of the courage is there already. And that leads to the confidence and the resilience. But so many of us think you have the confidence and the resilience that leads to you having the courage. And it's absolutely the opposite and the other way around. So have a good day and just embrace who you really are, because you have everything within you without any issues. And so let's unpick a few stories, and then you can get the aspiration, the career that you aspire to will then come. I guarantee it. So take care, look after yourself, and have a good day. Bye.